So welcome. I am Amy Tyson, and this is what we're going to be covering today. Basically, who am I? And how to use Chinese metaphysics to see what's going on, what's going to be happening, and then how you can use it to improve your life this year and going forward. We'll be looking at the three types of people that are in our world right now, and the three things we can do right now to recession-proof ourselves. And then we'll be looking at your destiny chart, specifically the star of destiny, which is the market that's opening up for you, and then also the strategies that you can use to improve your business. And then we'll chart a post-crisis vision, your 60-day plan for this the next 2 months. The password is Amy Tyson, so capital A, capital T, E-I-S-E-N. And I'm going to mute you all so that we don't have any overlapping sound. Okay. All right, so everybody is muted so that you can focus on what it is that I'm saying and not worry about background noise. So a little bit about me. Back in 2004, so 16 years ago, I took a 2-hour community ed class on feng shui. And there's still some background noise here. So that community ed class was interesting. And I knew that it wasn't the real information that they used to take over the empires in China, because it was called Black Hat Feng Shui. And they told me all I needed to do, or one of the things I need to do, was put my business card underneath my pillow and it would grow my business. So, okay, that was interesting. But then what happened, about a year later, I landed in a 6-day intensive feng shui retreat that my husband had actually signed up for, but I went instead. And I thought I had found the right techniques, but after 18 months with that school of study, things shifted and I knew I needed a new teacher. So in February of 2007, I flew over to Toronto, where Dado Joey Yap of the Mastery Academy of Chinese Metaphysics was giving a yearly update presentation. And I was pretty arrogant because I'd been teaching and learning for 18 months. I was teaching some of those first level classes on feng shui. So I said, can I test out of your first feng shui level? And he said, okay. So he set me up with an instructor. His first level class is 6 hours. And that 6 hours exhausted 18 months of study for me. So I was no longer arrogant. I knew that I had found the real stuff. So my studies with Mastery Academy over the past 13 years have taken me to China and to Malaysia and Singapore, as well as across the United States whenever Joey comes here to teach. And I really love this field of work. So the picture on the left is me in 2008 getting my feng shui diploma from Joey. And the one on the right was a trip to New York City when he was in the States teaching. I think that was 2013 roughly. So I do see him at least usually once a year to keep my information and my background fresh, because he is constantly upgrading from the ancient texts to how we can apply those concepts today. So I love this field of work. I'm really passionate about it. What I really love doing with my clients is helping them unlock their greatness and empowering them so they know that the decision and choices they're making are what they are here to do. So the aspects that I, thank you for that question, Gretchen. The aspects that I focus on are feng shui, which is the energy of the environment. So I don't know if you've ever walked into a house or a location and you just kind of go, ugh. Sometimes when the feng shui is so bad, you'll have that reaction. Or you walk into a place, you go, ah. It's the hidden energy forces that are all around us on this earth. And when I talk about feng shui, it's the house you live in, who you are as a person, and the place that you work in business. And there are small things we can do to improve it, and there are large things that we can do to improve it, because you are being affected by whatever the landform is around you, about a mile in radius from your home. So if we were to look at Minnesota as a whole, you can agree with me that the rivers and the mountains or the hills we have this type of formation. Okay, so it's this nice rolling. The Mississippi River flows like this. The St. Croix River flows like this. And they flow down from northern Minnesota, they flow down across the bottom of the state, and they come together in Minneapolis, St. Paul, they come together in Rochester. But this formation in Feng Shui is called literary arts. Literary arts formation is known for creating environments where education, theater and the arts, medicine, anything to do with medical is very auspicious, very successful. Well, what is Minnesota most known for? We're known for all those aspects, whether it's the Mayo Clinic or Medtronic or 3M, the medical businesses do quite well here, versus if you're in Colorado or New York, that landform's very different, so the Feng Shui will support other businesses. So that's Feng Shui. The other aspect is Bazi, that's called destiny analysis. You can think of it as Chinese, or as astrology from a Chinese way, okay? And then the other aspect is strategic date selection, and then Qilin Denjia, which you'll see a little bit of today. Now, if you've ever wanted to understand yourself at a deeper level, or if you've wanted to get in touch with your inner voice and connect with the hidden energies around you, then you are in the right place today. And I really thank you for being with me today and choosing to spend the next 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes, learning about things from a very different perspective. It's a soft science versus a hard science. And when it comes to education, I believe that we are never done learning. So I continue to study even though I have my master's certificates in Feng Shui, date selection, and destiny analysis. So hopefully that gives you a little idea of who I am, and what I do and how I might be able to help you. You may have seen sometime in your history the Chinese characters for crisis. It's made up of two characters designed as danger and changing point. The second character is often misinterpreted as opportunity. So within danger, there's opportunity. Look at some of the famous people who've done speeches on this, and that's how they translate it. But it's actually changing point. So I would state that from within the danger, we find there is a time to change. We need to change to escape that danger. And 2020 is indeed a year of big changes. So every year I do an update summit, usually in December and again in January for my clients. And we talk about what to expect on a global scale, on a US scale, and then on an individual scale. And I addressed that 2020 was going to be a year of an emotional roller coaster and of change. Those that are resistant to change are the ones that are going to have the hardest time this year, because the change is going to happen whether we like it or we don't like it. So it's the new norm. Business and the environment changed almost overnight in March. The way we communicate and talk to people has changed. We don't do a lot more online than we've ever done before. And it's likely that it's not going to go back the exact same way that it was before COVID-19. In my world of Chinese metaphysics, we started talking about 2020 way back in 2008. 12 years ago, we could see there was going to be something very significant happening in this year. I actually started talking about 2020 2 years ago at that yearly update summit, talking about the economic side. We weren't looking for something like COVID-19 because it's unprecedented. But we did know that there was going to be an economic crisis. So change happens when something comes into our lives or we change something in our lives. So innovation is the key in order to be successful moving forward right now. So the sooner that you adapt to the changes you're seeing around you, the better off you will be. So we have some choices. The two big choices we have are to be 1, healthy with money, or 2, sick with no money. As soon as this happened, my clients were reaching out to me saying, Amy, could you see COVID-19 happening? The short answer is no, we wouldn't look for it, but we can reverse engineer it. So I won't go into too much technicality because a lot of you are new to what it is that I do, but this is the chart we would be looking at to see COVID-19 and when it started. This is actually called a Qimen chart. And the box I have highlighted in red, this is actually from 2019. The box highlighted in red represents December of 2019, the starting point when COVID-19 happened. So as we look at this chart, I'm going to blow it up a little bit. You'll see a couple things in this box. You'll see, or we know we had an eclipse in December. And whenever we have an eclipse, we look at when it happens and what's going to be affected. So in December, the heart star was affected. That has to do with doctors and health. We have the earth guardian affected. That has to do with money. We had the life door affected, which has to do with finance. And then we had these two elements, which we don't need to talk about during this session. So what has been affected with COVID-19? Doctors and health and finances. Obviously, that's what we're seeing. So the next question is, when is it going to end? So we start with 2019 and we go to present day. This is 2020 chart. The circle on the left, upper right, left-hand corner. That is the months of April and May 2020. This is when things were trying to get under control. We had some really good support to get it under control, but now we have moved into the July chart, June, July, which is this area. This guy right here, Destructor, indicates that we will be going back to a more normal type of life. Unfortunately, we have another eclipse coming up the end of June, which is awesome because it still shows with Snake and Destructor and life. Remember, life was finances. Snake is all about health. So we've still got health and finances being affected. So we're likely to see a pretty decent spike the end of June, early July with COVID-19. So that's a little bit about what we see. Just know that this coming December of 2020, we have another issue coming up and we will be looking at the December box right down here in the bottom to see exactly what that will be affecting. It will be something more significant, but we won't start looking until July to tease out that information. So there are three types of people in the world. I want you to start thinking, what's your ideal outcome for 2020? Because we cannot change the circumstances we find ourselves in right now. The virus isn't just going to go away. So we have to see what it is we can control. If we're not careful, we could kind of fall down in our ability to move forward. In fact, 40% of the population is struggling right now, and I don't want any of us on this call to be one of those. So the three types of people are, number one is the struggler. The struggler is they hear advice and they get motivated for 5 minutes, and then they get depressed. They're constantly looking at the negative side. They're whining and they're risk averse. They're saying, oh my gosh, I hope I can keep my job. This is an area we want to get out of quickly. We do not want to be seen as someone as a struggler. We don't want to live there. They're the ones that are hoarding toilet paper and that type of thing. Then we have the survivor. Hopefully everyone is at least here because survivors are maybe a little bit nervous, but you're not hoarding the toilet paper. However, what you're doing is you're staying in your comfort zone. You're being self-sufficient. You're being comfortable, okay? As a survivor, you have to be careful not to backslide whenever there's negative information or news out there. The area we want to strive to be is to be a thriver. Looking at this situation as a really opportunistic time, maybe the time you've been waiting for, and start making some expansion plans. It doesn't mean you have to grow your business, but you should be looking at how you can lean and mean. We are at a point now where a lot of people are going to go broke. I'm not saying this. There are hedge fund and financial advisors out there who are saying if people aren't careful, this will really affect them. Those are the people that are going small. That's not the time to go small. You can go lean, but don't go small. The virus is the same for everyone, whether you are part of the royal family or just the average person. No one is immune to being infected by this virus. It's like nothing we've ever seen affecting on a worldwide scale every single country. So there are a lot of opportunities out there if you're prepared, but most people will just let this go by. So in 1907, there was something called the banker's panic, and the New York Stock Exchange fell about 50%. In 1929, we had the Great Depression. In 2007 to 2009, we had another Great Depression. Yet the majority of people did not take action. They contracted and kept asking, when will it end? If you had taken a different action back then, what would be different for you? So the first thing is simply some simple actions you can take right now. So this is what I was talking to my clients about in December. The 3 things you want to do right now, because you still have 2 months till we really start to see the repercussions, is 1, clear any large debt. We have April on the phone who's a mortgage lender. If you have a lot of debt outside of your mortgage, get that cleared up. Finance rates, and April can probably be nodding her head going, yes, they are extremely low. She was on, yes. She can help you figure out, is it the right time for you to refinance your mortgage, to give you access to cash to clear out some of the debt that may be looming in other areas of your life. Number 2, make sure that you have 3 to 6 months of cash reserves readily available for you. And then the third thing is grow your network. This isn't just knowing a lot of people. This is making sure you know them and they know you so that you can call on them should you need them in the next year, year and a half. We are projecting that this next economic downturn is going to last about 18 months. So into late 2021, early 2022, all of the financial advisors I'm speaking to are saying the exact same thing. They said, yeah, that's exactly what we're predicting too. So we want to make sure that you're prepared to get through that next 18 months without having to struggle. So in the next 2 months, a lot of things are going to be happening in the market. They're happening now. We're not exactly privy to everything going on. What's happening now is the government is pouring a lot of money into our economy, and that can only last so long. So see how you can run leaner and meaner and evaluate what you can do to make yourself more profitable. There's a lot of big businesses out there that are doing that exact same thing. They sent their employees home to work from home, and now they're probably going, that works so well, we probably don't need all this space. Or they're looking at how they can outsource some of those employees' work so that they no longer have to pay benefits. So they're going to run leaner. And I want you to be protected so you don't lose your job over something like this. So the things we can't do include, we can't control the virus. We can't wish it away. We can't control the economic fallout. It's imminent whether or not you're feeling it. But what you can do is look at you. How are you handling yourself organizationally in this crisis? How are you running yourself? How are you running your job or your company? How are you running your emotions? How are you letting your thoughts go? How are you letting your abilities grow? If all of that's under crisis too, then you won't have the opportunity to take advantage of the opportunities that are coming. You have to get yourself under control first. So if you are working for someone else, I want you to know your role may be changing. Most roles are changing. because the way we're doing business is changing. New roles will be created, old roles will be eliminated. And if you're doing things the old way, then you need to start taking the initiative to change. If you don't change, there's a possibility you could be eliminated from the system. So we're going to talk about what you can do as far as change in just a minute. So there's 5 ways to survive in 2020. The first is about luck. Strugglers don't have much luck. They're being depressed. They're not seeing opportunity because of their emotional state. I did a 90-minute free session on Zoom the end of March that was talking about using your divine spiritual forces to help smooth out your emotions and improve your luck. So that's something you can still find on my Facebook page, which is Infinity Life Design. I encourage you to go listen to it. It'll talk, using your chart, it'll talk about your guardians, your personal guardian, and it'll show you how to connect in with that so that you can improve your emotional state. The next one is skill. So skill level. There's short-term and there's long-term skills. Some you can get right now, at least to protect yourself. And we're going to talk about some of the skills that you are able to and ought to be looking at based on your chart this year. The next one is knowledge. This is an era where you have to have high knowledge about what's going on right now, what's going on in your industry, what's going on in the economy. You need to pay attention globally so that you can pivot and shift along with it. And then we have a platform. It's harder to thrive if you don't have a platform. So a platform, whether it's bigger or smaller, can help you this year. So platform can either be your social media platform. It could be your connection and standing in your company or industry. Your platform could also be the people that you're connected to. So take a look at what platform you have. And then our environment. The environment is the feng shui piece. Right now, we want to make sure your home and your office are keeping you healthy and are supporting you, giving you the inspiration. I did a short office feng shui video. It's up on my Facebook page as well. It's only about 15 minutes. You can take a look at that because there's some small changes you can make in your office, in your house, to keep your feng shui a bit stronger and supportive of you. So right now, we are going to be diving into your destiny chart and talking about the market that you have available to you. And again, here's the website, the username, and the password. If you didn't catch that at the beginning, you can write it down. And I always tell people, print out more than your chart, print out your spouses, your kids, your best friends, so you can see a little bit about what information you could pass on to them to help them this year too. This is what you should have in front of you. This is the full first page of your Bazi chart. And right now we're only going to focus on the very little piece down at the bottom. It's called 2020 Chi Men Life Palace. It's circled in blue. I'm going to blow it up in a minute so you can see exactly what you're going to look at. It could be on the first page of your printout or the top of your second page. I know sometimes the different browsers print out these things in different ways. So you're looking for 2020 Chi Men Life Palace. The aspect that we're going to be looking at is the star. This changes every single year. For 2020, it is showing the talent that is supporting you. So it's your market and where you will be able to make the most money if you learn to capitalize on that aspect. So here's where you find it. I blew up that area, circled in red, and you're looking for the star. And the one up on the screen is Destructor. It'll either be Ambassador, Assistant, Heart, Hero, Destructor, Grass, Grain, or Pillar. It'll be one of those 8. So we're going to start with ambassador, just to make sure that everybody is keeping up. I want you to type me in the chat if ambassador is your star of destiny. So go to the chat and type me. If there is no one that says me, I might skip it. All right, I'll just do it really quickly. There wasn't anybody, doesn't look like anybody's ambassador, and that's okay. If one of your kids or spouse or significant other, sister, brother, mother, father is ambassador this year, they can make a lot of money. Ambassador is all about project management. There's a lot of skills that the ambassador star is bringing to you, all centered around business and business management. The highest area where you could put your skills to work is digital project management. Google that and then go do it. Go do it for your business. Project management using a technical platform. The assistant star. Is anyone the assistant star? I'm hoping so. Put me if you're assistant star. I've got some head shaking going on. Pardon me. Assistant star, this is the year for you to exercise your writing skill. If you don't know how to write, take a class specifically about storytelling. Have you ever heard the phrase, facts tell, stories sell? Your way to sell this year is telling a story or telling stories, and it's to be writing, blogging, Facebook posting, newsletter writing, writing for journals. Assistant star gives you the ability to write this year. So learn it if you haven't learned it, or if you're not good at it. The hero star. Hero, you are the ones that are being gifted with the ability to do social media branding and design thinking. The other aspect that the hero star is really good at is providing feedback to the human side of software development. Yes, it's actually a career. A software is developed, they test it out with different individuals. Those individuals give their feedback about what it's like from the human side, not the technical side, of that user experience. So with Hero Star, focus on learning how to brand yourself on social media, or if you want a whole brand new career field, look at becoming someone who evaluates software from the human side of use. Those of you, okay, anybody have hero? Come on, just type me. I'm like, no. How about heart? Anyone with heart?
Amy, I'm going to be that girl. Which section am I looking at here? I feel like I see these words all over.
We're looking at the Star of Destiny. So this one right here, the 2020 Chiman Life Palace.
Thank you.
Yep. Angela said, I'm heart. Thanks. Okay, and Gretchen, sounds like you're heart too. Great. Heart. You guys have the ability to do analytical reasoning, and you might be going, seriously? Or you might know that you're very in tune to analyzing data. This year, you are being supported in that field where you can look at, let's just use social media as an example, looking at the social media analytics and knowing exactly what you need to do to turn those analytics into action. This is a really high paid freelance position, especially if you have an affinity for finance. You can create numbers, you can take the data and turn it into actionable steps. Okay, because data is one thing, but knowing what to do with it is really the key. The Heart Star gives you that ability this year where you can turn it right on your own business and take a look at what data you're getting and then turning that into an action item. The star becomes an add-on skill to whatever you're doing now. It's a remote talent, it's a remote talent that you add on to what you're doing. But what it does is it makes you valuable and able to work anywhere. So you no longer have to go to a physical office. You can work from anywhere when you have this skill. The Grain Star, anyone out there with grain? Yay, Tammy's like, I'm grain. She got her running back. Oh, great, Angela, perfect. Yep, look at how you can get into that data analysis too. Okay, so grain, anything that you can do with teaching. Teach something online, something you need, this is something you need to be doing right now. And you'd be like, well, I have nothing to teach. It doesn't have to be your main career. It could, maybe you like making pies. Teach people how to make pie. Maybe you screw up life all the time. Teach people what it's like to do that. This grain is all of, you're gonna have the audience there already ready for you. Teach adults, teach kids, teach whatever. You have the luck to teach this year, so start teaching something. Then we've got destructor. Anyone out there with destructor? Oh, good. Yes, Tammy, absolutely. Absolutely. So destructor is digital marketing. And this is kind of what Janet is doing. It's how to do advertising, get your name out, build leads from lead generation to sales. It's an 8-figure income level industry position, is learning how to leverage digital marketing for the sake of sales. Again, liking the skill I'm talking about is optional, but this is where your affinity is this year. You have the ability to learn it. Public speaking is our pillar. Anyone pillar out there? We've got some pillars, good. Pillar is learning to speak, but not just learning to speak, great Karen, not just learning to speak, but learning to mesmerize your audience and learning to speak to inspire. If you are afraid to speak, this is a year to get over it because Pillar will support you. You can, I'm not sure what Toastmasters is doing right now, but maybe you can sit in on, I'm sure they're doing something online, starting to speak, because the only way you're going to get better is to start. And it's a lot less intimidating to just speak to your computer than it is to speak to a room full of people. So this is the year to get better at public speaking, specifically for the aspect of inspiration and to mesmerize your audience. And then finally, grass. Anyone grass? April is out there. So grass this year is growth hacking. This is huge potential to create a fully automated system from generation of leads to selling to closing and turning them into a program. It's complex, but systematizing the entire process. It's the shortest way to get to growth. And April, being in the mortgage industry, you know you have a lot of competition. It would be really interesting to look at how you might be able to leverage this in your industry. I'm not sure what that might look like. But this is a whole year about doing things differently. Okay, so the economy doesn't favor the easy way of doing things right now. If you cannot do this, you're just like, I don't have time to do this, find someone who can. So if I'm telling you to be a public speaker about your business and you're just like, no way, then find someone else, hire them to speak about your business, because that's what's going to support your business this year. So there's 3 ways to grow your wealth right now. If you're an employee, you want to secure your job. Then you want to look at starting a side gig, or you want to grow your current business. So there's 3 ways right now. So the strategies you can consider are up here on the screen. I created a 3-part webinar that addresses each one of these areas based on your personal strengths right now. So not just that one aspect, but a bunch of aspects of your chart. And it gives you clear direction on how to move forward right now to grow your wealth, whether you are an employee, having a side gig, secondary income, or you want to grow your business. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, but I wanted you to know this is the strategies to think about based on where you are right now. So the idea is that we move up the staircase and you get to decide what level you're going to play at. Are you going to be the C player and whining and complaining about what's going on in the world and in your business? Or B player, where you're just going to stay status quo, doing what's comfortable, making sure that you just continue comfortably staying where you are? Or do you want to be the A player and seize the opportunities that are most certainly going to be coming into your life, even in the next couple of months. So hopefully you're at least a B player, but let's see how we can become an A player as well. So this is another aspect of your Bazi chart. If you intend to do the exact same thing before this crisis hit, it's going to be very high chance that you're going to lose out. So if you sell insurance, you need to do it differently. And that goes for every single profession. You've got to figure out some different way to sell. Have you noticed that there's far fewer advertisements going on out there in the media world? So we're going to take a look at another focal point for your chart personally. We're going to focus on what is called your natal chart. So it usually takes up the top half of the first page, and you'll see the label I have circled, natal chart. And it's this big box right here. And you might be able to see that there's 4 pillars in this box. And across the top, it's labeled year, month, day, and hour. So this year is a rat year. When you were born, the animal in that year was the animal that was governing the year. We're not going to be looking at animals during this short session together. We're only going to be concentrating on the elements on top, the top row, and you'll see their names are written in English as well. So you've got the Chinese character, the Chinese name, and then the English translation. So what you're going to be looking at is just this part of the chart, okay? Everybody got that? And you're only going to look at these 3 elements from the day, the month, and the year. So for example, across the top here, we have Yin Water in the day, we have Yin Earth in the month, etc. So I want you to write down what is the year element you have in your chart, the month element you have in your chart, and the day element you have in your chart. We're not looking at anything else, just those 3 aspects. I'll give you a second to write it down. Everybody got it? Ooh, Janine has all Yang Metal. Well, you're gonna have a clear choice of what you're gonna be doing this year. All right, everybody done? Great, thanks. Thanks, Sarah. All right, anyone need more time? Just say me if you need more time. All right, everybody must be done. So great, great, great. Thanks, Karen. There's 10 choices. There's a yin and yang of each of the 5 elements. So you have yin and yang water, yin and yang wood, yin and yang fire, yin and yang earth, or yin and yang metal. All right, so if you've got those written down, whatever is in the day and the month are the most influential right now. The year is also something you can connect with, but it represents more of your industry and something that's a little bit more external to you. The month influences your job, your boss, and your career. And the day, especially if you are someone that works from home, is the most important, as it indicates what you can thrive at doing that work at home. So ready? Here we go. If you are Yang Wood, this year it's all about expanding your knowledge and skill set. And it's also about teaching. If you have Yang Wood in your year, it represents expanding your knowledge and experience and reach in your industry. So consider teaching and education and consulting online as a way to expand your business. Specifically selling your knowledge and resources and research and experience to the market. If it's in your month, I want you to consider pivot to teaching. Now, if you have Grain Star, this is a double whammy for you. Pivot into teaching about your current work and selling your information as a product. If you have Yang Wood in your day, start teaching online from home. So that's wood. If you have Yang Fire, now remember, you will have up to 3 different ones. Now, one of you only has one, but most of you will have 1, 2, or 3 that you'll be paying attention to. And we'll talk about how to use that in a minute. Yang Fire. Yang Fire is about collaboration. If you have Yang Fire in your year, 2020, one of the most successful industries will be in health and wellness. Health and wellness industries will do very well. So if you have Yang Fire in your year, find a way to collaborate with someone in the health and wellness field, specifically if you are not in the health and wellness field. If the Yang Fire is in your month, find someone in your industry to collaborate with. And if it's in your day, consider working with your spouse or significant other or incorporating your kids into your work. It's about collaboration. Yin Earth. This is all about performance. It's all about being in the front. It's all about talking. So if it's in the year, do a TED Talk for your industry or your competitors. Write for journals. Speak to a wider audience. If it's in your month, write about your company. Write to take a polarizing stand. If there's something that your industry polarizes people, write about that. And then if it's in your day, again, this is Yin Earth, you might have to polarize something in your household, but really it's about stopping doing the same old things. People are going to be interested in what you create new this year. So create something new. Next one is Yin Metal. Janine, I think it was you that said you had the 3. Here we go. Yin Metal is all about money. This is about repackaging old surfaces and products and selling them. If you have it in the year, it's products and services that you've had around for a long time, repackage them and resell them. If it's in the month, repackage, repurpose, and sell products or services that you created just last year. If it's in the day, it's all about creating something new, product or service, and selling it this year. Okay, so Yin Metal is all about a second stream or additional stream of income. It's selling off old stuff, mid-old stuff, or something new. The other thing you could think about is developing a second stream of income that you've not developed before. Okay, so it's selling off things or developing a new stream of income. And then our last Yang element is Yin Water. Yin Water is an interesting element this year because you need to make some sort of significant change. The Yin Water in the day, or excuse me, in the year, Yin Water in the year is one of the only elements that ought to be considering moving careers or jobs. But if it's in your year, just change companies within the same industry. So healthcare company to healthcare company, mortgage company to mortgage company, bank to bank. So it's not changing from a bank to a mortgage company. Okay, see the difference? So Yin Water in the years, consider changing companies. If it's in the month and you're a business owner, you will want to change up something in your company structure change your role, change something like the employees that work for you, hire someone, let go of someone. This is something about you eliminate or you get eliminated. So it's changing something within your company. And then if it's in your day, the day is about changing something in your home environment. Can you change your office? Can you build an office? Can you change your bedroom? Can you do a remodel on your house? It's changing something in your home environment. When the water element is present, it means something has to change or you will be forced to change something. So I would much rather have the choice rather than have it thrown at me. So those are our yang elements. Now we're going to head to the yin elements. These I'm going to go through a little bit differently, not so stringent of day, month, year, but rather the theme, because yin is a little bit more flexible and versatile, so you can kind of shift with the trends and the things that are going on out there. Yin Wood is about being cunning. You are the only element that ought to be monetizing fear. It's not something that we do all the time, but this year you are the ones that can monetize the fear. And if you do not, that does not resonate with you, then I want you to focus on how you can help other people move forward. Okay? So that's the opposite side of fear, is spiritual development. So you can help people make progress. You can help people grow up. So think about improving yourself, but then how you can use your business, your career, your voice to improve others. So so Janine, since you already had the Yang Metal, other people have Yin elements. So we're going through the 5 Yin. So there's 10 total. We've gone through 6 now. Okay. So Yin Fire, if you have Yin Fire in one of those 3 elements, this is the year for you to sell personal development or do your own personal development. You can also think about having affiliates. There's a lot of businesses out there like, hey, refer me, or you talk about my business. Was somebody a massage therapist on here? Just say yes, me. So you could maybe work with chiropractic clinics and say they are your affiliates. So that every referral that comes in your door, you pay them a referral fee. I don't know if that's possible, but that would be an example of an affiliate program. Again, that's Yin Fire. So somehow that you share revenue. Oh, great. Thanks, Dawn. Yin Earth. So Yin Earth, Donald Trump, our president, is a Yin Earth in his day. Yin Earth is all about strategic planning. And of all of the 10 elements, the Yin Earth, if you have it in your chart, you have the least fear of what's going on in the world right now. The only time you will get fearful is when you allow the opinions and the news to affect you. Because right now your finances are likely fine, your businesses are still fine, your job is still okay. It's only when you let that fear affect you that things will start to fall apart. This is a year for you to do some strategic planning. And it's also a year for you to start writing down your script of your story, your business story, your story of your industry, your story of your life. What you write in there, be very forward thinking and positive in your writing, because you have the skill this year of bringing forth into reality whatever you write down. And that's Yin Earth. So what you write will come to fruition. Yin Metal, you are the ones that need to start an online business. Flat out. Either take your current business and get online with it somehow, or start a brand new business and get that online. Okay? We would be looking deeper at your chart to see what kind of business that would be perfect for you, but if you have Yin Metal in your chart, start looking at that potential. And then Yin Water. Remember we talked about Yang Water making some change? Yin Water, you're the one that has some potential really big emotions this year, kind of like the waves of the ocean. They can wash over you. So you have to decide how emotionally stable you are. If you feel that you're a fighter and you can put up with the challenges this year, Yin Water, you have huge potential. It'll be risky, but you can actually change the path. You can chart the path of your industry this year, and wealth and prosperity will find you. However, if you're prone to depression or you have these high emotions, and you might be saying, oh my gosh, I just can't do that, that's too much challenge, then please don't do it, because this will emotionally affect you, possibly on the negative side this year. Okay, so this one's a little dicier to use, but just know if you have Yin Water, you can make a big breakthrough to the next level if you work hard. Okay, I need a drink of water after that. Okay, so most everyone on this session, besides Janine, had at least 2 of those elements. Many of you had 3. So what do you do with that? You get to decide. You can implement all 3 if they dovetail together nicely, or you can say, oh, I really resonated with the Yang Earth, or I really liked the Yin Fire aspect of my chart. What do you feel passionate about? And then focus on it. Even if you know you have it, but you don't focus on it, you can't. It won't work for you. It's like watching a little campfire burn. You know it's over there, but if you don't feed it any more wood, it's going to go out. So focus on the aspect that you are passionate about and you resonated with and you feel like you can do something with. Focus on it, work with it, and you can access all of its ability this year with that focus. So some of you out there are going, wow, there's still a lot on this chart that we haven't talked about, and that's because we only have 45 minutes together. So we didn't cover the animals, we didn't cover the doors, we didn't talk about the feng shui, we didn't talk about the spiritual aspect of the guardians. We did not talk a lot about the other things in your chart. I tried to pick out 2 strategic things that I thought could be helpful for you moving forward. But this is where I want to talk to you a little bit more about that 3-part webinar I just finished up 2 weeks ago. So it looks at what we talked about today, but it expands the stars, dives deeper into other aspects of the chart. And when you're done with that webinar, you have a clear picture how to focus your attention now, and at least for the next 2 years, to keep you and your career thriving. The entire 3-part series is about 4 hours long. And if you decide that you'd like to subscribe to that, you'll also receive access to the recorded version of the 2020 Metal Rat Summit. That was recorded live in December. And I have to say, I've rewatched segments of it and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I'd only known clearly what I know now when I was talking. You can hear the themes of 2020 as I'm talking. So it shows how powerful that information is even now moving forward. Because we talk about the health of our country when we view Donald Trump's chart. So how do you participate in that? You simply go to my website, Infinity Life Design. There will be an image like it's on the slide right now, and it says click here to subscribe. It's the green button. You simply click that button. Make sure that you enter the coupon code special 2020. And instead of paying the full price, you'll only pay $69 for that information. It's the feedback that I got from the webinar. I had quite a few people doing it live. We did it in 3 parts, and everyone was on for every single part because it's information I've never shared before. And it's really good high-level information on what you can do right now to make sure you're ready and to move your life forward. So now we're going to finish up our time together and kind of put the pieces together of what I shared. So I just pulled one example. You're welcome, Sarah. I pulled Grain Star, and let's pretend that individual also had Yang Metal, Yang Earth, and Yin Earth as their 3. So Grain Star focuses on teaching. The Yang Earth, the Yang Metal, and the Yin Earth focus on repackaging of products and services, polarizing the audience, strategic planning and scripting the story of a person or company. Could you come up with a game plan just based on those pieces of information? Not knowing anything about this person or what they do. You absolutely could, but you can also use it strategically for your own business if this were you, sitting down and saying, okay, what can I teach? I need to do some strategic planning. I need to repackage products and services. So now, instead of having this whole gamut of what you could be doing, you can focus in on what you're being supported by this year energetically in the aspects of the chart that we talked about with you today. So then the last piece I want you to think about is, what's your 60-day game plan? I'm not talking a year, I'm not talking 5-year plan or 10-year vision. I'm just talking 60 days. Things are going to be changing in our world as we head into this fall. The economic stimulus packages may not be there, may be cut way back. We don't know what our government's going to do, but at some point we're going to have to pay for the stimulus that they send us. So I want you to think about right now, what would excite you that you want to make happen in the next 2 to 3 months, in the next 60 to 90 days. Write it down. That excited you and you got it done. It doesn't have to be business related at all. Then why do you want to achieve it? Because you need to know the why before answers of how can come about. I don't care about the how. I just know, why do you want to do it? Why does that speak to you right now? And then what do you need to do in the next 60 days or less to make this happen, to put that plan into place so that you achieve that vision? If you are brave, I'll give you a couple of seconds to write it down. If you are brave, I would love for you to share what your 60-day vision might be in the chat room. Tell me what it is. I'll tell you mine. I resonate highly with what's called the Guardians in Chima and Dunja. I have a first level, a level 1 class that I've been teaching for about 4 years. About a month and a half ago, it all came to me about level 2. Some more things that clients have been asking me how to use that. Nice. So level 2 is already outlined. So my next 60-day vision is I'm going to write that class and I'm going to teach that class. Very nice. Thanks, Dawn, for sharing. Thanks, Sarah, for sharing. These are great things. Hopefully today has helped you make steps towards those visions, and you'll be able to move forward with the supporting energies that are around you. So I want to leave you with this, and I will stick around for a couple of minutes if you have questions about what we talked about. I'll stick around and answer those for you, but I'm going to leave you with this. In times like these, nothing, and I mean nothing, shines brighter than the human spirit. So I want every single one of you to be the A player and thrive for the next 18 months and beyond. And I thank you for being part of this very first AGC Lunch and Learn. And we are done, but I will stick around to answer questions if you have them. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Amy.
Yeah.
It was interesting when you went through, you know, the year, the month, the day, and you know what those all meant, and it sort of explained why the last few months I have been about as unfocused and distracted as I've never been that way before. I first time I think forever, I have a sense of what my clients deal with when they're dealing with ADD. I mean, I have not been able to focus. I feel really helpless because of it.
Good.
And when I start looking through what I am, Yin Water, Yin Metal, and then the Yin Fire. And you talk about changing, you know, what I do, but staying in the same industry, developing certain things and changing a business. I mean, it really, I think that it ties right into where I just don't even know what I'm doing right now.
Yep.
And
So
it's
go
so
ahead.
frustrating.
When did you start having those feelings coming about? Was it February, late February, mid-February, late February?
I think it started kind of hitting me full force the beginning of March. So yeah.
Roughly the same time. Okay.
I mean, I literally am so distracted that I made my coffee. The coffee cup was sitting on the Nespresso, you know, kind of thing, or the Nespresso thing. I went to the refrigerator, put out the cream, and started pouring the cream on the counter. I hadn't even got my coffee cup off the machine.
Okay.
I mean that is like diametrically opposite of who I typically am.
Yeah. Are you experiencing any kind of emotional, I don't even say fear, but just kind of uncertainty, anything like that?
No.
Okay. You might
More
want,
frustration.
what's that?
More frustration.
Frustration. Okay. Can you tell me what area of the house your bedroom is located? Is it, if you were stand in the center of your house and face where your bedroom is, which direction from you is that? North, south, northeast, southeast, southwest?
It's downstairs and it faces due west.
It's in the west, or it's south?
Well, it's on the west side of the house and it faces due west. So our bed faces due west.
Is it, so it's square? So if you put a compass over the top of your house, it would be in the west, or would it be southwest, northwest? Because you got to have all directions in your house.
I guess it would be northwest.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. That makes sense to me. So it's an area.
April.
What's that?
April
smiling. And I've had plenty of sessions where she's like, "Oh, I get it now," and you're like, "Shit."
So you may want to look at using a different area of your house for your office. So I don't know where you're sitting right now. Is that where you typically work?
Okay, wait, I misunderstood you. I thought you said my bedroom.
Yeah, I did say your bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so is this the office that you typically work in? Or where you work?
Where I'm sitting now? Yes.
Okay.
So my office is is in the southwest.
Okay.
Or
okay.
Due south. It's like in the middle of the house, due south.
Okay, so on your chart, let's just do one little thing here. On your chart, on your Chi-Men chart, you have, you're welcome, Michelle. Thanks for being with me. I'm glad I was with you. On your chart, on the left-hand side of the chart, do you see some directions? They say Shang-Chi, Yan Yin, and then they have little directions on it. On the upper left-hand side of that chart. There's the box. There's one box. I think it's the second box down on the right. Left.
Oh, favorable directions.
Favorable directions. Yes. So tell me what those favorable directions are. The first four.
Life generating, heavenly doctor.
And what are the directions?
Oh, I'm sorry. North, south, east, and southeast.
Okay. So if you can, sitting at your desk right now, the way you look would be, we'd want that to be one of those four directions. The only one I really don't want you to face. Hold on. I really do not want you to face north. If you can face southeast, that would be the best. I would be okay if you face north, but I do not want you facing east or south.
I am facing due north.
Due north?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is what we call the Grand Duke. If you can shift so you're not straight on north, Grand Duke can cause the problems you're talking about. So shift so you're not due north, you just tilt one way or the other so you're getting close to northeast or close to south, northwest. That may help. Yeah, just shifting a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, just shift it a little bit so you're not straight on with Grand Duke. It's hard for me to do much more than that. I do know that the session, the $69 value I gave you today, does talk about that emotional side and how to use your guardians to connect in to take care of exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, thank
but
you.
I need your chart in front of me and the layout
Sure.
of your house to do it for you.
Thank you so much. This was so eye-opening.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm happy that I reached some new people today that have never done work with me before. So I was happy to have you on, Karen.
Okay, Aim, I got one quick question.
Yeah.
So when we were going, same kind of thing, we're going through like the year, the month, and the day, a lot of the stuff is like totally checking. We're like, oh my God, I've already have that emotion, or I just started doing that, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was all tied in. Awesome.
Yep.
But then do you just keep nurturing that, I guess?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely keep nurturing it. And if there was some aspects that I talked about that you aren't doing, take a look at those as well.
Okay.
It's interesting, April, that people that I've worked with, like you, they're saying, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about doing that. A couple of people were breaking into the chat. I was just thinking I might want to do something like that. So that it's an affirmation that your instincts are guiding you. And this is just clarifying the focus.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, like I'm Yin Earth, so I was talking about talking. Like I just did my very first couple podcasts this last month that people reached out to. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Yeah, it actually is fun. And just think about, we would never be doing this in any other environment than what's happening right now. I would never teach this workshop via Zoom. I would always be in person. So that's why we have to shift.
Sweet. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good event tonight.
Thanks. Playing bingo. Shouldn't be too hard.
It'll be fun. Bye, April.
Bye.
Anyone else have a question for me?
I just really enjoyed your event. It was really good.
Thanks, Janine.
And I've had my house feng shui, whatever, analyzed before. It's kind of a bad deal because it's an angular house.
Oh, yep.
And it doesn't sit any direction.
Well, it does.
No, but not a stable one, not like a north, south, east, west. There's no part of the house that's
okay.
one of those. So anyway, I think it causes some chaos.
Yeah, it does cause some.
Yeah, this was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'd love to talk to you more.
Good.
More about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to me via email. That would be fine with me, and I can put you on my newsletter list, or you can like my Facebook page because I put stuff up on there.
And then where was that? You said to do your do your spouse and do your kids or whatever. And what was that website again?
I'll put it in the chat.
Thanks.
The same one that you had us print from?
Yeah.
That's right, Amy?
Yep. So that's the website. And then username, ILD, password, Amy Tyson. Oops. There you go.
And is there anywhere that you can go, like if you wanted to, on that 2020 Men Life Balance Star, Grain Hero, all those. Is there any place to look up those different ones or not really?
Well, the webinar that I just did will talk about each a lot,
Yeah.
not every single aspect on that chart, but it'll go through the door, it'll go deeper through the star, we go through the animals, we go through the life destiny palace, we go through the elements, and we go through the feng shui.
That's
So
the webinar.
you could you could do the 90-minute session that's up on my Facebook page. That'll give you information about the Chi-Men. The activations I gave are no longer valid because those were passed because those were in March, but that's a starting place.
So cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, guys. Thanks for being with me. Anything else?
Thanks so much. This has been great. I really appreciate it. I was like writing at the very end when you said, what do you want to accomplish in the next 60 days? I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I don't even know.
Too many choices or not any choices?
Well, like the things that I want to do, I think are too big for the next 60 days. Like I've got some, you mentioned debt, I think in one of, I don't know if it was one of mine or not, but like get in the next 60 or 90 days, if you've got, there was that screen that said if you've got any big debt,
Clear the
get
large
that
debt.
down or those kinds of things.
Yep.
And that's something that, even though I'm a financial advisor and I should be really good at that, it's something that I struggle with. But I know how to help other people do it. And it's all about behavior change, right?
Well, it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was the thing that came to me, but I was like, I don't know if I can do that in the next 60 days. So how do you chunk that down, I guess?
We'll look at what your full debt is, and maybe you want to clear 15% of it or 20% of it.
Yeah.
You can do that in 60 days.
Yeah,
that's what I might recommend. Take one of your goals and then reduce it down. That might work. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
So that exercise, I got stuck on that first part of it because I was like, I don't even know. So that exercise was write it down, and then what did you say there? You said
the why. Why do you want to do that, or what? Why is this a passion of yours right now?
Mm-hmm.
And then what was my third little slide piece? And then what do you need to do in the next 60 days to make sure you make it happen?
Okay, so the action. What action?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you. This has been great. I really appreciate it. And this thing is really interesting.
Yeah, it tells a lot about a person if you know how to read it.
All right. I think I'm going to sign up for your website thing.
Great.
But do you do individual stuff too?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay. Well, great.
All right.
I'll look forward to seeing you again.
All right. Thanks, Angela. I look forward to seeing you too.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. I'll be on the webinar too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.